I drank with Jared, Jabe with Simon, promised Rhaegar the hand of my own beloved granddaughter, but never think that means I've forgotten. The North remembers, Lord Davos. The North remembers to always listen to Cosmere Chronicles, the podcast where we follow Sheta and Justin, who are still first-time readers, and we chronicle their journey through Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere series. On today's episode, we will be chronicling Mistborn, The Final Empire, chapters 28 through 30. So now let's throw it over to the host of Cosmere Chronicles. This is Joe! Why, thank you, Joe. Yep, once again, everybody, you are here listening to Cosmere Chronicles, the podcast that's on being played right now in your car or your earbuds or however you decide to listen to this. My name's Joe, and once again, I'm joined by Sheta and Justin.
Holla, holla.
How are you two?
Justin, you didn't wait for the cue.
I don't need no damned cue.
I was purposely delaying the cue, that way I would interrupt you.
I'm a free man.
Oh, masterful.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I'm doing fine. Fine as sunshine.
Okay, then we will, nothing really to talk about. We don't want to get too into our personal stuff, so we'll just go into, once again, going into shit, so that way people can judge us. This week, I'll let one of you two pick a topic.
Pick a topic?
Yep.
Oh, I want to do it.
You take it, Sheta.
Okay. Who is your favorite Sanrio character?
I don't have one. There you go.
You gotta
favorite
pick
what?
one, Justin.
I don't even know them.
I didn't
Just
hear
look
what
up
you
a
said.
picture right now.
It's Hello
Sanrio.
Kitty and her cast. I don't know anything about them, Sheta.
Yeah, you do.
Sanrio?
Sanrio.
How do you spell that?
Sanrio.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I don't even know them.
Okay. I guess by process of elimination, my favorite's Hello Kitty.
Yeah, I'll go with the one I know best. Hello Kitty, Sheta. Are you happy?
Wow. That's probably true in the whole world.
No, I highly doubt it. I'm sure that there'd be a different answer if I knew who the characters were.
Okay.
Okay.
Mine changes from time to time, but right now, Cinema Roll is very popular, and there's a good reason.
And what is the good reason?
They're the cutest one.
Ah.
But I always have a soft spot in my heart for Gutama, the lazy egg.
I regret.
I didn't even know that egg was one of them, Sheta.
He is. He makes a cameo in the Hello Kitty arcade game.
Well, I think you'll all see this is a fandom of one here.
All right. Now, so we said our favorite character to see this thing. So, Justin, let's have you throw out a topic.
I don't. Give me a sec. Looking around. Your favorite horror icon. Horror icon. There you go. That's mine.
All right.
Mine is Michael Myers.
And why is that?
Because he's the scariest one to me.
Well, that's a good reason.
Because anyone could be a Michael Myers. Like a weird stalker creep.
Michael Myers can also survive being shot like 60 times.
Yep.
That depends which version. She may only be going... Oh no, he got shot 6 times in the first one, I forgot.
Or did someone just quickly put on the mask and be like, I'm the same guy?
No, because there is no body.
Or they got rid of the body all quick.
Well, horror movie icon?
But you, Sheta, you mean anyone could be the shape stalking out at your window, right?
Yes. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
I guess I will go with Jason Voorhees. Pretty typical and basic, but those movies were pretty entertaining. Especially movies 4 and 6 are my favorites. But, I'll wait for Justin's, then I'll throw out an honorable mention.
I will pick the tall man from Phantasm, because I think he's the most fucked up one from the strangest movie series.
Wow, Justin. So cool.
No.
But you know what? I'm going to say my honorable mention is the leech puppet from Puppet Master. Still waiting for a figure, Nika.
Yeah, they got the rest of them.
My honorable mention, which is very close. I almost picked him over Jason. It would be Charles Lee Ray. Or
Not Chucky.
for the yeah.
I was about to say, otherwise, Chucky, for those who don't know his real
Okay.
name. He is just very entertaining. Not the remake Child's Play movie with Mark Hamill. That version kind of sucked. The original Brad Dourif version.
That's I think how it would tend to go with horror series.
Oh,
And what's that?
I was trying to think remakes where their character was still.
Horror remakes specifically.
Does the 2009 Friday 13th count as a remake?
No, I count that as a sequel.
And also a spin-off of Supernatural.
Yes, that too.
Justin, did you have an honorable mention? Oh.
Yeah, it will be Candyman, who would have been maybe my second pick.
Ooh, that's a good
Similar
one.
reasons to the Tall Man.
Okay, now I want to pick an actual honorable mention. 'Cause I have a lot.
Well,
Wait, so you have watched Candyman? I thought you hadn't seen it.
no, we've seen Candyman, and it was very good. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
It was one of the
I
smarter
also.
horror movies. Like, you know.
Surprisingly, very good.
Mm-hmm.
With the actor that I've seen a bunch of stuff that he's always great in.
Yeah, he was great in that movie.
Even like the random, like episode 4 of the first season of Smallville, he was in it and he was still fantastic in that.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Well, now I have to go rewatch Smallville.
And you can listen along to Talkville as you go.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because that's a podcast with Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling. Every week they go over an episode of Smallville, and you get some like behind the scenes stuff. It's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, I love them. I'll do that. Are they friends? I thought they would be rivals. That's pretty cool.
They're just
Why would-
regular people. We thought, I bet we could make some money doing this podcast.
Wait, Sheta, you said you had a different honorable mention?
Yeah, I want to do a good one, but Justin, I have a good one, right?
You have a
Who
million.
am I-
Just go with
Yeah,
a
but who
basic
am I-
of
Well,
Freddy.
it's always such a. Yeah, I do love Freddy. I'll go with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Freddy would
that's
be your
all.
second, Sheta. Or Jason, actually, would probably be your second.
Yeah, I'm really torn between those three. So
Does it have to be a villain, a character?
I said horror
Oh.
icon, so it has to be an icon. So I guess I'll switch my honorable mention to Elvira, now that I think about it.
dang it, I was gonna say Elvira. Hey.
I might have to switch to Ash Williams.
That's an icon for sure.
What about the Crooked Man, Justin?
I mean, I like him, but he's not like he has a lot of time to build up.
If anything, Annabelle's the more well-known
Yeah,
icon from that
Or
series.
the nun, at least.
the ones that got movies.
Yeah, and have a little more personality.
I'm noticing this segment is going on a lot longer than I think it's supposed to.
Oh,
Okay.
we're all pretty big horror fans, so that's what.
Yeah.
I mean,
except
Yeah, but
this
once
is,
we get into, like-
Cosmere.
Once we get into like our 5th tier honorable mentions,
all right.
I
Yep,
blame
well-
Joe for opening it up to us. That's
too
All right,
much
we'll
power.
leave.
We couldn't handle it, Joe.
We'll leave the horror of horror movies and go into the horror schedule. And we will first go over to Justin for the recap of last week's episode.
Fuck. Executions, I believe. A lot of them. Everything was going swell. Then there were a bunch of executions, and everyone was sad. And then recommitted to the cause. Nailed it.
I forgot to do Arcanum Unbounded, the 11th medal.
Oh yeah, and we saw Kelsier throw some coins around with an old guy. Nailed it.
Just, I feel like you're being disrespectful
I don't remember his name.
on
Gemmel?
purpose.
Not on purpose. It was I liked him. If I got to
Joe
know more
just
about
said-
him, he was. What's that?
Joe just said it, the name.
Oh, I didn't hear.
All right, Justin. That was a satisfactory recap.
Wow, that was satisfactory. I'm impressed.
Satisfactory
Really?
is not a high level.
No, but it's higher than I thought I was gonna get.
Well, you said stuff that happened.
Am I forgetting something important, Shita, besides the side story?
Not really. I mean, We learned a bit about the Lord Ruler, and I think we learned a little bit about. Oh no, that's this chapter.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
Yeah.
Well, you missed Kelsier and Vin meeting Marsh.
That was it. Yep.
And Vin using the ninth metal, gold.
Yeah, that is an important part, Sheta. How'd you forget that?
I did forget it.
Well, moving on from that, this week we went through, a couple chapters, and I'll ask once again, how would you guys like these chapters? How'd they go for you?
I am so curious when we're going to get to the point where I'm going to say, I hated these chapters and I'm never reading these books. Because every time I feel like it's the same answer. I liked them. They were done well. They achieved their goals correctly.
Well, you could always say, I hated these chapters, but you cannot say, I will never read again. You're contractually obligated to the... Nope, you're contractually obligated to the podcast.
Oh, fuck. These better stay at the same quality.
If you leave the podcast and break contract, I'm legally allowed to take your firstborn child.
Oh, God. Oh, all right, I'll stick around. Jesus.
Not only am I allowed, I'm actually contractually obligated to take your firstborn child, even if I don't want it.
Yes, sir. These chapters are great, sir. I'll read the whole series.
Sheta, how'd you enjoy the chapters?
I liked them, but I am also sad about what's happening. So I didn't like them at the same time. This is definitely the down part after the high part.
The execution.
Wait. What was the high part? Jesus, Sheta. That was definitely the low point. No, Sheta, and their army dying and the executions. I'd say those were the low moments. Jesus.
It's continuing then.
But for you over there, you're like, no, those are the funnest parts of the book. I love when the God get what's coming to him.
Well, don't forget, when she did the recap, she remembered Spook and Elend being like, hey, Vin, I like you, and completely skipped over losing the army.
Yes, I'm referring to the love triangle. It's not going so hot right now.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's leaving things open for Vin and Spook.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe. Joe, you're giving me hope again. All right. Maybe this is like Eclipse, where Bella spends the time with Jacob instead and gets to know him.
I sure fucking hope not. I don't want to read Eclipse again.
I have not watched nor read Twilight. I half watched the first Twilight movie, so a lot of these references, besides the names, I do not understand.
Well, I'm already thinking of doing a podcast with you and Justin reading Twilight, and we can talk about it. So.
Justin's read them already.
Yeah, but she loves hearing me complain about them.
We'll just have you read it, and Justin reread it, and we'll talk about it.
I kind of want.
They're really not that bad. They're just quite tedious.
Not for you.
Yeah, I'm not the target audience. That's the real problem.
All right. Well, now that we wasted a lot of time talking about,
I'm sure most of that'll get cut.
Now we'll go into the chapters proper. So our first one was chapter 28. Epigraph. Sometimes my companions claim that I worry and question too much. However, while I may wonder about my stature as the hero, there's one thing that I have never questioned: the ultimate good of our quest. The deepness must be destroyed. I have seen it, and I have felt it. The name we give it is too weak a word, I think. Yes, it is deep and unfathomable, but it is also terrible. Many do not realize that it is sentient, but I have sensed its mind, such that it is, the few times I have confronted it directly. It is a thing of destruction, madness, and corruption. It would destroy this world not out of spite or out of animosity, but simply because that is what it does.
You see, now I'm torn. Now I kind of wonder if he is the deepness, and that's what we're going to learn at the end. But I don't think so, because if it would destroy the world, then that wouldn't make any sense.
Wait,
Shit, you just gasped like, oh my god.
Wait, you think that's the deepness?
That the Lord Ruler is the deepness. But I also don't, like, he got taken over when he went in that place. But I also don't think that at the same time, because, I mean, he hasn't destroyed the world. but I think there's something that maybe he fused with it or something. Some kind of
Maybe he's
fucked up
like
thing with it. I used to always think
this.
he was holding it at bay, but I'm starting to think otherwise. What was that, Sheta?
I said maybe he's like the sentry. He's got both of them inside him.
And he's just holding it at bay this whole time, right?
Yep. And sometimes he lets the deepness out, or it beats him. That would be really good.
Don't let Bendis get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'll just read the next. Yeah.
The next Cosmere book, written by Brian Michael Bendis.
Joe, can I quit the podcast if that happens?
Jeez.
I wouldn't blame you. All right, that's the one thing in the contract is if somehow a comic book writer such as Bendis or Zeb Wells gets permission to write a Cosmere book, we will either skip that book or just you can take those episodes off.
All right, sounds good.
But only those names: Brian Michael Bendis or Zeb Wells.
That's fair.
Or if there's another comic book writer you just really hate.
Oh, there's one I don't want. What's his name, Justin?
Huh?
What's the guy that I hate who is in comics who writes movies sometimes? He co-wrote like Dark Knight.
You gotta read his JSA before you judge him. David Goyer.
I don't.
He's a douchebag, but he's not a bad writer.
I don't
He's
care
just
if
a
he's not a
dumbass.
bad writer. It doesn't take that much to not be a bad writer. I don't read things written by douchebags.
Yeah, well, I'd argue with you, but I would love to argue with you.
So
is what I'm saying.
throw
I
David
can't.
Goyer onto the list.
Okay. I really don't think we need to worry. All right, back to the chapter. Okay, now back to the chapter proper. So it begins, and Vin is at a ball at Keep Lical, and she goes to talk with Lady Cliff in order to hear gossip and also to give her some gossip. And Vin makes it seem like she accidentally spills news that House Hastings is secretly planning to leave Luthadel. In truth, they are not, but Doxson is forging documents to make it seem so. Now, they're doing this because this way other nobles will stop their contracts with House Hastings, and that's going to cause them to lose their financial standing. And then if House Hastings doesn't actually leave Luthadel, they'll wind up looking indecisive. After hearing this stuff, hearing that they're going to leave, Lady Cliff's like, I'm sorry, I need to excuse myself, and runs off. And Vin thinks about House Tekiel, which has been destroyed. Some of their members were assassinated before they were able to leave Luthadel, and the rest were found dead on their burned canal boats. And if people don't remember, House Tekiel was the one where a number of chapters ago, where Kelsier dropped the body off to be found in their courtyard.
You know, with how easily tricked these guys are, I really feel like they deserve what's happening to them. It seems too easy to frame each other. They're too paranoid.
Now though, after reading a little bit more, I feel like they aren't as easily tricked as you might think. They just wouldn't mind using those excuses to go ahead with some things they've been wanting to happen.
Yeah, maybe. I think you think higher of them than I do.
I don't know. The reveal later made me think not.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they're kind of deserving to die for the whole raping and killing of the Ska.
Yeah, but raping and killing innocent people is one thing, but being a fucking moron who can't even hold on to your own power is another.
All right, and then Elend comes over to Vin. They talk a little bit, and he does mention that he wants to kiss her, but Vin turns him down, saying that he doesn't really know her.
I think I might like to kiss you, miss. It came off like such a dork.
Oh, I know.
Elend, to be honest, comes off as kind of a dork almost the entire story.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He comes off as a real dork in these few chapters when we get to know him a little better. Before, I was like, oh, who's this mysterious guy? Now I'm like, oh, he's a fucking dork. He's exactly what he would be like. Like, how would you not be that way, you know?
I may have to rethink my casting for him.
Not going to cast Samuel L. Jackson anymore, should I?
I'll tell you who I was going to do originally, and then I'll do my
save your original stuff when we go through all the fan casting.
Yeah.
All right. And then Elend tries to convince, Vin and her uncle to leave the city because it is becoming too dangerous, and they have no strong alliances. And then Vin mentions to Elend that, he's acting fine because House Venture is stable and safe. But Elend tells to her that they actually are not. Their financial standing relies on the ATM because they are the ones that mine it, and the mining has been slowed down ever since an incident that happened a few years ago.
Here I was like, oh, Elend, what are you doing? Which is exactly what Vin thinks. I'm like, you're doing this like, usually you'd get this seduced out of you in a movie, but it hasn't even happened. None of that's even happened. He's just telling her for no reason.
It's funny that we thought Vin would be the naive one to get hurt by Elend, but now like he comes off so naive here, with just like falling for Vin and then just I mean that's actually more accurate. Vin's the street smarts girl, like she sees shit.
Yeah, but there was a time when we thought Elend might be this Machiavellian mastermind.
Yeah. Why? Because he's
not even a freaking rebel. He's just a guy who philosophizes.
He's just a
no
kid.
insult to him. Yeah, no insult to him. That's all actually more realistic, I think, than what I would wonder otherwise.
And I think another part of this thing that was just a couple chapters ago, both of you were like, Vin, what are you saying to Elend? Shut up. Now you're like, Elend, what are you saying to Vin? Just shut up.
But Vin even says it to him, and he's like, no, my dear, I trust you. Like, stop.
All right, and then Vin tries to warn Elend about Shan Ilariel, but he brushes off and says that Shan is harmless.
And that's extra hilarious, knowing how things are going.
Yeah, like, why do you think that? Like, he is so naive.
And then they wind up talking a little bit about the Lord Ruler, and Elend thinks that the Lord Ruler is arrogant and wears many rings because he knows that the nobles will follow suit and wear rings themselves, and wearing all that metal will give the Inquisitors power over them. And then when Vin brings up that Elend wants to overthrow the Lord Ruler, Elend says the Lord Ruler is God. He just wants to hopefully change things, like get rid of the mass executions. And Vin is saddened because this means that Kelsier was right and Elend is not a revolutionary.
What noble would be a revolutionary? That's what I wonder, I mean, I'm sure there's real life examples, but still, you're giving up an awful lot of, you're giving up an awful lot if you try to be a revolutionary, and there's a good chance your head is going on the chopping block later on.
And then Elend leaves to go meet with his friends. While he's doing that, Vin goes over to Shan Ilariel's table to talk to her. But Shan tells Vin that she no longer requires her services and brushes her away.
Well, that's over. Sure.
Yep, the end of Shan's role in the story. Just a weird little side character.
Yeah.
Just to show what nobles are like.
Well, did they ever say how old she was?
My guess would be around like 20 or something.
Like
Elend's 21.
Yeah. Like Elend's age.
All right. I don't see anything about age.
Okay. But she is older than Vin, right?
I'd assume so. Vin's only 17.
Okay.
All right. And now the book switches for the first time in the main part of the book, besides the prologue, but the actual chapters. We get a POV that is neither Vin nor Kelsier.
I was shocked.
Because it switches to Elend's POV. Yep, and so Elend is meeting with his friends Jastes Lical and Telden Hastings. And they talk to him about Valette Renew. They are worried that House Renew and this girl has suddenly shown up in Luthadel right before the tensions rose and very quickly have gotten close with Elend. But Elend brushes it off. And we see through some of his thoughts that he does actually have feelings for Valette, and he's not just using her for...
Perhaps if I did my hair up, she would like...
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that he was that kind of slobbiness. I imagined a completely different type. But when he was like, oh, I do have let myself go a little bit with my looks, like...
Yeah, you thought he was the guy who's doing it on purpose, right?
Yeah, but now he's like, just like a unkempt kind of nerdy guy. Like, it's just funny to see it from not Vin's point of view,
Well, that's the sort of stuff that I said when he first showed up, and you two were like, no, this is a thing he's going for.
Yeah, I know, I thought of that. I was like, Joe, you knew this before. You knew him before us. Like, So you said he was like, yeah, not cool.
All right, and then
Well,
later,
I wouldn't say
Elend.
he's not cool, Sheta. I'd still say he's probably cool. It's just not he's not a hipster, you know. That might actually just make him actually cool, you know. I don't imagine he's fucking greasy or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, he's still rich.
I imagine he's exactly as he's described, you know. He's more interesting than the other people. So he spends his time doing stuff that Vin would value more than all this look stuff. I don't imagine he's like, yeah, pasty and disgusting. And there are rich people who are disgusting, you know? Some people just don't take care of themselves.
Yeah. Again, I'll just have to recast my Elend.
Do you have Brad Pitt, Shada?
I'll tell you when we reveal.
With his, like, effortlessly messy hair.
It's just Tyler Durden
Mm-hmm.
teaching me how things are.
Has to be like longer hair, Brad Pitt, like Legends of the Fall or something.
No, I imagine just perfectly done up World War Z Brad Pitt.
Ew. That's probably my least favorite Brad Pitt.
All right. So then,
Don't give Joe
Elend.
ideas. That'll be the next question, Shada. Favorite Brad Pitts.
If we get another chance to pick categories, I'll pick it myself.
Please, God, don't pick that.
You know you're thinking of yours already.
No.
That just reminds me of my movie idea that we had talked about a while ago at Dean. Pretty much the Spider-Verse, but Brendan Fraser. Just
Yeah,
all
that
of
one
Brendan
sounds
Fraser's,
good, yep.
All of Brendan
that-
Fraser's characters get together. So you have like Encino Man, you have, the Mummy, Blast from the Past. All of them wind up in some place and like having to work together.
I can tell you, Shada would watch the hell out of that movie.
Oh yeah.
I
Don't forget
would watch
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle, The Whale. I would watch the hell out of that. Okay.
Maybe I'll get there someday with the tech, you know?
Oh, that's not the same. He's got to play all the roles. It can't be AI done.
Well, he'll voice them and act them, but they gotta look like exactly how they did in the film.
Just use the CGI to age him down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Back to the book. So now Elend arrives back at his house, and his father wants to meet with him. So Elend walks into his father's study, and he sees his father talking with Tensoon, the Venture Khandra. And Elend wasn't comfortable with its new body, which used to be a Hastings servant.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Just saying that like I know what the hell they're talking about.
Oh, I know. I was like, they're talking about it like it's the house cook or something. Like having a Khandra is just very normal.
Mm-hmm. An interesting way to reveal something they reveal very soon through another guy's eyes.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the first time we've heard the word Khandra.
Is it?
Yep. It's not, yeah.
Yep, it's been in the book before.
Yeah. They had called, shoot, I forget his name, but Vin's fake uncle.
Oh, they had called him that?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Lord Renew. Yeah.
So then after Tensoon leaves, Straff's talking with Elend, and he's upset with that Elend has met with Valette again. And Straff says that he wants Elend to have a meeting with Lord Tigos, because Tigos has a daughter, and they can make an alliance in order to take down House Hastings if things go bad with the whole house wars. And Elend's kind of annoyed that, his father's looking to take down House Hastings instead of allying with them and trying to keep Luthadel afloat. Elend says that he won't go to the luncheon and that they won't have to worry about House Hastings because House Hastings is planning on leaving the city anyways. So Vin's news to Kliss got around very quickly.
Yeah.
And then Elend goes back to his room, but Jastes, his friend, has arrived to meet with him. And Jastes tells Elend that he had Valette followed after she left the ball. And, when her carriage, was at the spot leaving the city, he had his spy check inside the carriage, and it was empty. She had gotten out of it at some point in the city, and she is likely a spy for another noble house. And he points out that Valette is exactly the type of girl Elend would go for, with her hair, her, thoughts, all that. And when she first showed up, she first arrived at his spot that everyone knows that he hangs out with, since the first ball was at Keep Venture. And then after Jastes leaves, Elend tells one of his servants. So Elend wants them to tell his father that he'll go to the luncheon tomorrow if he can borrow a couple spies to follow someone. And that's the end of chapter 28.
It's interesting how he puts all this political intrigue in, to give us the groundwork for where things are going. But also, I think, to make us think something different is going to happen than what he's planning on having happen. Because I'm writing in my head the whole situation about him learning about this stuff and all this boring shit that's going to happen. So it's always funny that whenever he threatens to do something less interesting, something more interesting actually seems to happen, which I always like in writers.
Yeah, he leads us down a different path.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting breadcrumbs this way, and then all the while, he's like a magician.
I think any good writer would be, yeah.
But also, it never feels like an ass pull. It's always he's making you believe that that's gonna go one way, but it goes a different way. But all the building blocks were also already there for
it actually makes more sense to go the way we're gonna go instead, because the other way was gonna lead nowhere narratively,
Oh yeah, it's not a cop out or anything.
Mm-mm. It's really interesting.
Great. Anything else in this chapter you two want to go over?
Not me.
Well, we talked over my favorite stuff.
All right. Then we'll go on to chapter 29. So, epigraph. The others all think I should have had Kawan executed for betraying me. To tell the truth, I'd probably kill him this moment if I knew where he'd gone. At the time, however, I just couldn't do it. The man had become like a father to me. To this day, I don't know why he suddenly decided that I wasn't the hero. Why did he turn against me, denouncing me to the entire conclave of Worldbringers? Would he rather that the deepness win? Surely, even if I'm not the right one, as Quan now claims, my presence at the Well of Ascension couldn't possibly be worse than what will happen if the deepness continues to destroy the land.
Man, everyone betrays him, huh?
Everyone betray me!
Well, it's the same person he was talking about earlier.
I know, but all these, nobody will just let him take over the world. Yeah.
He is so whiny and funny. I would really like to know all the details of what actually went down.
Oh, they wouldn't keep saying it if we're not going to learn someday,
It really?
At least like the important parts,
Yeah, like Quan's actually the hero. He actually
I don't know.
saw the bad stuff.
I wonder if Quan is going to be power hungry like he implies.
I think you're confusing Quan with Rashik.
Oh, Rashik, I'm sorry. See, everyone betrayed
Quan,
him.
Then? Is Quan a different character?
Yeah, Quan from the stuff is the one, where he says that he's the one that brought forward and being like, hey, this guy's the hero. And later he's like, no, he's not. Rashik is the leader of the Pac-Man that's leading them up the mountain.
Because he got to fucking know him.
Yeah, I see. So Quan is the one that said our father to him, and then Rashik is his rival. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much.
In his mind, yeah.
All right, so the chapter begins, and Finn is reading the Lord Ruler's journal. And we get an extended thing of it. So in it, the Lord Ruler mentions that they are only a few hours away now. And it also mentions that Fedek had been stabbed by a figure made out of mist. Fedek had been worried the terrorist men would abandon them, but the Lord Ruler doubted that because he is from the providence of their religion. And then the Lord Ruler also talks about how he had confronted Rashik, and Rashik talked great lengths about how much he hated Klenium and its people, and that they treat the terrorists as pretty much slaves. Rashik believes that the terrorists should be dominant because of their powers. The Lord Ruler wonders what things will be like when it is all over. He is tired of being the hero of ages and just wants to retire into obscurity and be forgotten. The terrorist prophecies say that he will have the power to save the world, but also to destroy it. He will have the ability to fulfill any wish of his heart, but if he is self-serving with the power, then his selfishness will taint it. He wonders if this is a temptation any man could resist. He will save the world, but will he also take it? Tomorrow it will end.
And that?
What was that?
And then he says?
Nothing.
What a cocktease! I really felt for Vin in this part.
Yeah, because that's the end of the newest pages Vin had gotten from Sazed.
Mm-hmm.
She's annoyed and wants to know what happens at the Well of Ascension, so she goes and finds Sazed. But he tells her that it is finished. That was where the journal had left off. So Sazed surmises that the Lord Ruler had taken the power and couldn't resist the temptation. And since he had the power and became immortal, he had no more use of writing things down in a journal.
I have a
This
new
is the most
theory.
I've ever related to Vin in this story.
Oh. What do you mean? The rest is history.
No, the rest is not history. That is the most interesting part of the entire thing.
He goes in the Well Ascension, defeats the Deepness, and
Yeah.
and
That's
so
what I
then-
want to see. That's what I want to know about. That would explain everything that's going on here if I just knew. But the writer knows that.
And
I
Sheta
just
will
thought it
come
was
back
funny.
to Sheta. Keep that theory in mind. I'll ask you it later. We'll throw them all together.
Okay.
All right. So then Vin and Sazed talk some, and Vin is worried about the future. After this job is done, the crew will go their own separate ways and take on new jobs. And Sazed tells Vin that's how things are, and she doesn't want it to change. She likes her life now. Sazed tells her to just enjoy things how they are.
Yeah, it's sad to think about because for everyone else, they've got their own thing to go back to, but she really has nothing to go to once this is over.
But, to be honest, I know she's worried about like Kelsier leaving, but to me, he sees her as too much of a daughter, so I think he would still stay by her.
Yeah,
He wouldn't abandon her.
unless one, he dies, or two, there's another very important cause that will need his attention more than her, and he'll say, "I've touched all I can, kid. Now I've got to go."
He does seem
Which
like
I
that
could see
type.
that.
Or he becomes the villain.
Well, I don't think that she's thinking that's a possibility.
She was worried about him. She's like, I feel like he's a good man, but I don't know him that good.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Sazed tells Vin about a group of people called the Astali, who believed everyone had a finite amount of bad luck. So pretty much what it was is like they'd, if something bad happened, they'd be like, well, that's fine because that's that much less bad luck I'll have in the future.
I like that religion. It's a smart one. You never have to get upset about anything.
But I agree with what Vin says, though. That when something good happens, what does that mean?
Then Vin and Sazed, they talk some about ferrochemy, and he mentions that it can even store attributes such as age and weight. So just different stuff you wouldn't really think of. Vin decides to test something and has Sazed give her one of his metal mines. And he gives her a pewter one that he has stored a little bit of strength in, and she swallows it and burns it. She can sense the power Sazed had stored in it, but she cannot tap into it. Sazed says that this is the same feeling that ferrochemists feel when they try to use another ferrochemist power.
I have another theory for that too.
So then, Kelsier arrives at the mansion for a meeting with the crew, and he thinks about how easy it would be for an assassin to get in. So he's going to have Vin continue to sleep at Clubs' shop just to be safe. He's not worried about Renew because the Conjurer's nature made him not worry about an assassin's blade. And then at the meeting, Dox lays out a map that Marsh had gotten for them. It shows where all the soothing stations are, along with recent strikes that Inquisitors have made in the city. And this is not like a copy Marsh had made. It's an actual map the High Prelends had given Marsh for him to overlook and to give recommendations. They are worried about the House War and want to send out more soothers, so they're having him see where he might put. And Vin notices that one of the Inquisitors' attacks was dated as yesterday. Kelsier says it was Theron's crew. The crew working with Cayman on his last job. That means that the Inquisitor that was on Vin's trail is still on her trail. And she asks, what happened with Theron's crew, and Kelsier lets her know that once again nobody on his crew was left alive. So they discuss how to use the information on the map, and Kelsier suggests they hire thieving crews to attack 3 stations at attack their army, and it will also let them quickly take out all the stations. They will need to discuss timing, though, as to when to do this, because they know that when they do this, the Inquisitors will retaliate. Then next, Kelsier asks about the army, and Ham they are doing well. Breeze questions why he and Dox also have to meet with the army. Kelsier tells him that it is best for the army to know their leader. Ham be indisposed. When Kelsier asks Vin if she has learned anything useful about House Venture, she says no, and Kelsier cannot tell if she's lying or not.
Funny. I just imagine her going, no. Like,
Not yet.
no,
I'm
no.
sorry, guys. What do you mean, Atrium?
I can't believe she lies. It's so sad. I mean, I get why she would lie, but that's like her new family.
And then that night, Kelsier's having trouble sleeping. Up, he sees it and he talks to him and asks for another religion. Sazed brings up the Bennett, who were seafaring people, and they had peace, which Kel isn't looking for right now. So he asked Sazed to tell him about the Vala again. They had held out against the Lord.
Tell me
Ruler
about
even
the
centuries.
Fala.
Yeah. Tell me a story, Sazed. I can't sleep.
This is a side of Kelsier we really haven't seen that he doesn't really show people. So that was really interesting.
Yeah. I liked it.
And Kelsier wants to hear Vala because they held out against the Lord Ruler even centuries after he had killed their leaders. Kelsier says that should have broken them, but instead it made them stronger. And Sazed says that was because they had hope. And Kelsier wanted to hear about the Vala because he wanted to be reminded of people fighting even when things looked hopeless.
That does not bode well for how he feels about how things are going, or how he thinks they're going to go.
He's acting a lot more different than he does when he's with the guys.
Yeah.
He doesn't reveal his doubts that much to them.
Yeah, but Sazed seems like he tries to create an environment where you'll feel very safe with him,
Oh, of course. He's like Guinan. He's like...
Yeah, a little bit.
He's like a therapist and a friend, a wise man friend.
Be a less, blunt Guinan.
Yeah.
All right, new fan casting. Whoopi Goldberg as Sazed.
No.
All right. Anything else in this chapter you two want to go over?
No.
Is that the third chapter 30?
That was 29.
Okay.
All right, so nothing else for 29?
No.
I do want to say the description of Vin eating the ATM. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm sorry. Next chapter, yeah.
We'll move on to chapter 30 then. So starting off with the epigraph. Most of the Terraspin are not as bad as Rashik. However, I can see that they believe him to an extent. Simple men, philosophers or scholars, they don't understand that their own prophecies say that the hero of ages will be an outsider. They only see what Rashik points out, that they are ostensibly superior people and should be dominant rather than subservient. Before such passion and hatred, even good men can be deceived.
Huh. I wonder if the Lord Ruler may ever have to face such a thing in himself.
My new theory explains it all.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Listen to the end to hear my perfect theory.
Perfect theory. You got me. If your track record's anything to go by, Sheta, it's going to be true.
Yep. So be prepared if you don't want any spoilers.
You both have had some crazy theories.
Yeah, but every single one of mine turns out to be true.
Who's Vin's father?
You'll find out soon.
All right. And Vin says they arrive at a ball at Keep Venture, but they notice that it feels odd. And Sazed goes to the servants' meeting early to check things out. Vin goes up to different groups of nobles and try to talk with them, but they, the first group that she goes up to, which includes some people that she had talked to, some people she had danced with in the past, they're like, oh, actually, we need to leave. And they all leave to go do different things. As soon as she walks away, they all get back together and start talking again. And the second group she goes to just straight up ignore her. And so Vin goes up onto the balcony and she overlooks the ball. And she notices that Elend is actually sitting with his father. And that he's wearing, he has his hair done nicely and he's wearing a tailored suit. Then Caesar returns and he tells her the other houses have canceled their upcoming balls. So this will be the last ball for a long time. The nobles are using it to show who their alliances are with. And they are not mingling with others. Since House Renew had stayed so neutral, they have nobody willing to talk with them. And Sazed leaves to go tell this news to Kelsier, since Kelsier is planning on being an informant tonight. Vin stays at the ball, and while there, she goes over to talk to Elend. After getting his attention, he comes over to talk to her. Pretty much, Elend dumps Vin. He tells her that he did for her, but it was simply a dalliance that they both knew was not going to last. He also says that he knows that she has been lying and that she has simply just been playing the game. Now, Vin isn't happy, and Elend tells her, "Villette, don't make me embarrass you." Then he leaves the ball to go meet with his friends. In Vin's head, she can hear Reen's voice telling her that, of course, Elend left her. Everyone will betray you. And then Lady Kliss comes over to talk to Vin, but she reassures her that Elend will get what's coming to her. And she lets it be known to Vin that she is an informant. She plays the part of the gossip because people will tell her all the news. She also reveals that she knew the rumors Vin would give her were false, and she tries to blackmail Vin and her uncle. Vin asks what she meant about Elend, but Kliss won't tell her for free. After giving Kliss her sapphire necklace, Kliss says that Elend will be the first Venture casualty in the House War. Kliss won't say any more about it, so Vin soothes all her emotions away except for fear, and then riots fear. And Kliss tells her that Elend will be assassinated by Ilarial Allomancers and that Straff Venture is behind it. If Elend dies, then Straff can make his nephew the heir. However, unknown to Straff, Kliss knows about the books Elend has been reading, and when the Obligators then find these books, they will begin to investigate House Venture.
Man, this got real crazy real fast.
Yeah,
Especially when she starts just using her power and everything and not giving a fuck anymore. It's always interesting to see things turn from everything's normal to, like, shit's hitting the fan, who gives a fuck anymore.
Yeah, this is a freaking emergency.
Yeah.
Alright, show's over.
Mm-hmm.
And even Kliss is like, "Oh, you're an Allomancer. That's some good news."
Yeah.
And then she tries to blackmail her. It's like, "All right, now I want some money. Otherwise, I'll let everyone start."
She's like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up." Actually, I liked Kliss, was it? I liked her a lot in this part. She kept her cool pretty well.
It's like, and we've seen her throughout the past chapters just, "Oh, yeah, the gossip, yeah." And then, "Oh, wait, she's actually an informant. She's smart with how she's getting this."
That was very interesting of a reveal.
And then Vin leaves to go save Elend. She knows that he had just hurt her, but she's able to admit to herself that she loves him, and that's why she's going to go save him. And she rushes out. She rushes outside, does this whole scene where she pushes this rose window thing out in the air, and then she jumps out and pushes off that thing as it falls to the ground. And she, since she's planning on fighting, she removes her dress so she's only in a shift and shorts, because trying to fight in that dress was going to be...
Yeah.
This part was so dramatic.
It was.
I'd love to see this in live action, though.
She launches herself onto the roof, but she cannot find or sense anyone. She focuses, and then she notices a faint but hidden allomantic pulse. Finn goes to it and sees a number of people. She jumps out into the middle of them. She takes out her coin pouch, rips it open so the coins all go around her, then she pushes them all out in like a dome sort of thing, taking down a number of them. The only ones that live are a couple of coin shots who managed to deflect them, a couple thugs who survived it because of her, and 2 Mistborn. And one of those Mistborn is Shan Ilarial.
Dun dun dun.
Even though I suspected she was going to do more, I didn't think she'd be a straight up one. You know what I'm saying. Words.
Mistborn.
Yes, Mistborn.
She was so cool. I
You thought she
really
was
liked
cool?
that reveal. She was like a rich Mistborn, like they're in a whole club of their own. Like, this is the type of person I was hoping Vin would meet when she went to the nobles. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, like one that's all like in the know about Mistborn, but from the noble side and stuff. I really wanted to see what noble Mistborn were like, because that's what they are. Like, that's what most of them are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the way her outfit was described was like super cool. Like this sexy leather kind of like, and she's all hot too. Like, she's all beautiful. So like, I just want to see that whole outfit and the whole character.
And yeah, so Vin fights them. I won't go through all of it, but I remember like one part was like she got into a pushing match with a coin shot with like a coin, but Vin got against a wall, so it winds up pushing that coin shot off the roof, and so they just pretty much fall to their death. She also, and while fighting, she sends one of the thugs through the skylight, and he falls into the room where Elend is currently meeting with his friends. So it kind of warns them that, yeah, hey, shit's going on up there. But Vin realizes that she's not going to be able to fight two Mistborn, so she runs, but they give chase. And at a point, she jumps out. There's like a guy in armor, so she winds up pulling against his armor, and he's holding on to like a wall, trying to prevent himself from flying to the air. Then after she lands, one of the Mistborn is chasing after her, and he's pulling on the same armor, and Vin winds up kicking the guy in the armor off, so that way he's no longer holding anything, so he just winds up flying right up to that Mistborn. They collide in the air, and then they both fall, presumably to their death. And then Shan lands on the ground by Vin, and she attacks Vin with 2 daggers. Vin, she guards stuff as a weapon. She's not really skilled with it. Shan is much better in this fight. So
that was interesting, too, because I was wondering if Shan was going to be, like, she was going to whip her really quick, because, nobles don't have as much street knowledge. It's very interesting to see her be, competent enough to be incredibly dangerous.
Oh yeah, I imagine a noble training is way more like advanced. Like she was probably trained from birth or something, like with noble money and everything,
Yeah.
Like professionally. I think that's so interesting. Vin is trained by a guy who was basically trained by a homeless guy. Like
we don't know that.
Yeah, he was. He was some crazy guy.
Plus, Shan has probably been trained like this for 15 years or so, ever since he snapped.
But you learn a lot about somebody who lives such a cushy life, because there's a lot of people who wouldn't take that seriously. And then there's the people who would take it seriously still. So you learn a lot about her character just from that alone.
But I think with the noble, because the Mistborn is such a high thing and such an important role, because you're pretty much the protector for your house, that all the Mistborn nobles
that's true.
take it seriously.
Yeah, that's true. If you're the protector of your house, yeah.
Yeah, but I love what you're saying though. Like, she is actually much cooler than you thought. Like, she cares about stuff. She trains.
Yeah,
she takes things
you never
seriously.
know who's somebody who's been in active battles and stuff, and actually tries and trains and doesn't just think, "Oh, I'm important, I'll be fine." So it's just interesting to learn.
Like that Mistborn in the 11th medal.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I like to. We see Sharon for the first time, and she's like I thought she was like a shallow, mean girl, basically. In all the like hype around her was just like superficial stuff. It felt like, but now we see that she's actually like a real big deal and stuff like that, because it's probably not unknown that she's a Mistborn and stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. Do the other nobles really know that? I don't remember.
No.
Yeah, I think you keep that a secret, right?
Yeah, the houses keep that a secret because because you don't want other people to know who your Mistborn are, because they're kind of like your. So it was known, it was kind of known that she was a soother. So people just thought she was a soother. They didn't know that she could.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. So then in the battle, Vin realizes that in order to survive, she's gonna need to use her ATM. This whole scene where she throws like the little like glass vial with it and just pulls the ATM out, breaking the vial, and shoots it right into her mouth.
That part was too badass. Some of these scenes are just begging to be a movie, Yeah.
I was like, this is like a Matrix scene right here. Like,
yeah.
So...
You could see a really bad director fucking this scene up pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
And then after she swallows that, Shan does the same thing. She pulls out her ATM, and they both burn it, so they both see multiple shadows coming. But Vin knows that Shan is going to have more ATM than Vin does.
Ooh, that's another thing about being a rich one.
Yeah. See, rich, competent people, they're the hardest, scariest ones, because they have all the resources and, like, everything you have, That's dangerous.
Yeah.
And then, while they're there, some random guards begin to shoot wooden arrows at them. There's no metal heads at the end. And then Vin charges at Shan to attack. And before she gets up to her, Vin stops burning her ATM. So that makes Shan believe that Vin has run out.
Yeah, that was smart. I liked that move.
So now Shan's more confident, and she prepares to kill Vin. But as she's getting ready to attack, Vin burns her ATM again. And now suddenly there's all these shadows coming at her, and this confuses Shan for a moment. And Vin uses this moment to grab an arrow that's still in the air and slam it into Shan's chest. And it breaks it off, leaving some of that arrow in her chest. Shannon's still alive, though, because of her pewter. So Vin, pushes on a metal sword towards Shan, but it's simply a distraction. So now Shan's focused on that sword, pushing that away. And while she's doing that, Vin stabs the broken half of the arrow into Shan's chest again, this time killing her.
No.
Oh no.
I was really rooting for Shan here.
I know. It's like, this is Vin's real enemy. Her mean girl.
Oh, she.
Picked her as one of my favorite characters on a previous chapter. I was really hoping she'd make it.
She becomes the, mean girl that, oh, wait, never mind. We actually have things in common.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no.
Now
Not
they'll be a
that,
frenemy.
no.
Frenemy.
She's going to become incredibly dangerous in my version.
Shan could become the Cordelia Chase of Mistborn.
Yeah.
No.
I was hoping
No,
that. Then she could teach her a thing or two about how to be a real Mistborn.
No.
All right. So and that's also where we end our chapters for this week.
Will
Anything else from us?
be okay? That's what we're waiting to see.
No, she's dead.
I'm pulling for her to make it.
So anything else from chapter 30 you two want to go over?
No, not me.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So then we'll go on to our whole questions and predictions segment. All right. So first I'm going to ask what ramifications are going to come out from Kliss knowing that Vin's Allomancer now.
Well, she's either going to sell it or they're going to have to bring her further into the fold money-wise and stuff and use her as a resource.
Kliss?
Yeah.
Kelsey is just gonna kill her.
Not if she could be useful. She's got information.
Yeah, not. I mean, maybe she could help bring the houses down.
I think they're just going to kill her? Jesus, shit.
Why would she bring the houses? Well, I guess maybe they bring down the other houses so that way hers can rise.
Exactly.
She's not just going to take down noble houses when she's a noble.
No, that's not what I thought at all.
Okay. How are things going to go with Elend and this Tigas's daughter that his father wants to engage him?
Yeah, that's going to go real well, I'm sure. I don't know if I have an answer for that. Well, I don't know, actually. It depends if he... It really depends how stupid Elend is, and how, naive he is. Is he going to put together what's going on? That he's not in a safe spot and that he should leave to go join this revolution, Or is he going to be like, now it's more important than ever that I stand by my...
So Vin's gonna find him and tell him, yeah, your dad just tried to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna be like, oh no, I've got nowhere to go. Vin will be, you can stay with me at my house. And Kelsey's like,
as long as we still have servants.
Ben's gonna sneak him into her room, and then Kelsey's gonna be like, you got a boy in there?
I don't know how well hiding him in her room will work out when you'll have Kelsey and stuff will be burning tin. It's like, why do I hear two voices?
Oh no, poor Spook.
Poor Spook.
He's gonna hear everything.
Yeah, he's gonna hear everything.
He's a pineye.
What kind of book are you turning this into, Sheta?
I'm not turning it into anything. It's already like that.
Yeah.
There's been enough book about Vin bringing Elend back and hooking up with him, causing Spook to hear it all. I will just want to... That is not in the book so far.
Well, then why did they set up that Spook is a pineye and he can hear?
Yeah, I wonder why. I can't guess why they would have set that up. Jeez, Sheta.
Man, I do gotta put all this in a fan fiction for myself and for all the other fans out there.
No, just do what Stephanie Meyer did and write your own book from.
God, don't do
for people who wanted more banging in Mistborn.
All right. What the hell's going on with Kandra? What the hell are those?
I think they're either related to those creepy ass mist wraiths out there, like something similar to that, where they're not like us, or they store their personality in metals, and when you ingest that in somebody, they take it over. One of the two, I think.
Wow, that's good.
Those are two different things.
Yeah, but they're both good. I think there was some kind of corruption with the powers, and like corruption as in like this is part of my big theory, but I think Khandra is. I think they are like a new race of powers that stem from the same powers from the Lord Ruler, but it's just like how there's Mistborn and like Soothers, like all these powers. I think Khandra is just like a mutated version of that, and they just have that power. So basically, like mutants, but with more specific powers.
So
And
you think
only
it's just a different power?
Yeah, but they all seem to be based around the same kind of thing, like same concepts. This is as the shape shifting one.
All right, and then I'll ask, how's Elend gonna react to this whole possible attack on him as he's like this thug fall through the ceiling and everything?
Sure, he'll believe whatever lie his father tells him.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad.
Or he'll just notice how many times in my descriptions I said Elend brushes this off.
Yeah.
All these warnings, and he just brushes it off like, yeah, that won't happen.
He's a noble. What do you expect? It's in their nature.
You have this thug fall through. That guy was just, looking around the city and just...
Yeah, that might be a bit much. I don't know that I would buy that.
You're right. Vin's gonna try to warn him that it's Shan, and he's like, "Why are you so obsessed with Shan? Is it because she's my ex? Like, quit bringing her up. Like,
she's dead." No,
yeah, but
right
like,
here. What are you talking about? I just saw her.
Vin had to get rid of the competition.
Oh my god!
Because their Katara or whatever took her body next.
The Contra? Ooh, that's fucked up. Okay, that's gonna be good. That's gonna go in my book.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's what it's gonna be, Sheta.
That would be so messed up.
All the clues are there. I almost feel like I can get you to believe anything by just saying it, Sheta. Because every time I say the dumbest thing, you're like, oh my god, it's true.
Ever since you predicted that first one with the king in Elantris,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then other question: how is Kelsier going to react when he finds out that Vin killed another Mistborn in order to save a noble's life?
I actually think he's going to be more understanding than you would assume.
Really?
I think he's going to be understanding with her,
I thought he just... Okay, go ahead. Finish your part.
Well, every time that he learns more about this stuff, he's like, oh, she is but a young girl after all,
Yeah, but how many times of that is he going to take until it's too much?
I don't think there is too much. I don't think he would ever get that mad at her, because I think the worst that would happen was he think, I shouldn't have sent her in. This was my fault,
The only thing with that is, he just said, our one plan in now is to break the noble houses, and like, our in for that is Vin and, what's his name? The Lord Renew being part of the nobles, like, and now Vin has revealed herself and kind of ruined that entire plan. This is their
She's
only
plan. Revealed herself as a Mistborn. That doesn't change anything.
Also, keep in mind, there are no more balls coming up.
Yeah, that too. That's kind of over.
I guess things are going to change anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Sheta, what were these theories that you had?
Oh, yeah.
Your big predictions?
I don't know. Okay. So my theory is, I'm sorry if this turns out to be true, but the journal
I'm not worried about it. Go on, Sheta.
Yeah. Okay. That the journal is actually from the real hero of ages, who is not the Lord Ruler.
Oh.
I think that Rashik is actually the Lord Ruler.
That's a good one, Sheta.
Yeah, I told you.
No, I legitimately legit believe that one now.
Yeah, the little pieces that we hear.
Makes sense why he wants to kill all the people who would remember that from that far back, who he really is.
And
yeah,
he's a talisman. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he already believes, because we hear about what he believes, is that they deserve to rule because they are more powerful than everyone else. And so,
the only problem
is in charge right now?
Yeah, the only one I have with that is the they part,
Well, that's why he doesn't like talisman. He's basically enslaved them all and neutered them all so that none of them are
like talisman if it was that. That's what I'm saying.
No, what he has instead are these kind of Mistborn in the nobles that have only a little bit of the powers that he
No,
has.
I'm sorry. What I'm saying is, if he said they deserve to rule, that makes him sound like he would care about, all of them, not just himself, not just like one
Justin,
megalomaniac.
he sounds like a megalomaniac.
Oh, I'm
Sounds
not
like
saying
he'll
that's
sleep.
not true. I'm saying that's my only piece of evidence to think otherwise.
This is what I imagine happened. He said that all the terrorismen rose up to help him become king, and then he starts subjugating his own people so that he's the only one left.
But they also say that the noble houses are the people who helped back in the day,
Yeah. Who
Or they're
have
the
been bred
descendants of that.
into that's part of my theory too. They're just kids of those people, and their allomancy and Mistborn powers are just perversions of the original powers and stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I
Yep.
get it. Yeah, I get it.
That's why
Okay.
only nobles have powers.
So why is he hunting down all the terracemen now and killing them all off? That would be my question.
Because this is my other theory, Joe. Okay.
Oh, I see. It's another theory.
Yep. Because they talk about it a little bit, how terracemen are only able to ingest their own powers that they have stored up. But I think that the 11th metal allows them to eat other people's powers. And that's how the Lord Ruler is like.
Oh, you think he just has... Oh, okay. So he hunts them down, right? And then he takes their powers because he can. But then wouldn't he want them... I guess he could have a whole farm of
Yeah. I actually take it back because I think the 11th metal is what could kill him. Oh, then I think that other terrorismen can use the 11th metal. That's how they can beat him.
I don't know. I like most of your theory. When I say things that I like, the things that I think against it, they're not because I don't think it's true. It's because I'm stress testing it,
Yeah, I get it. It's making me strengthen my argument too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I really like that. And like, what's the other thing? That explains why he's so powerful too, because he's doing something like unnatural with the powers.
Man, if he turns out to be Rashek, I'm gonna feel so bad for being so mean to the hero the whole time.
Yeah, me too. Like, he seems like normal.
So if Rashek killed the, hero of ages, then what happened to the deepness?
Well, it was defeated by the hero, right, Sheta?
Yeah, I think that this could be a moment like the hero defeats the deepness. There's a moment with like a choice or a power or something, and then Rashik goes in and kills the hero and takes that power.
Or he takes his form too, in the same way that those whatever do.
Yeah, the Kandra. You could totally do that.
Because we don't know what the powers were back then. We don't know the rules of stuff,
Yeah.
I like it, Sheta. I approve.
Yay!
All right.
I'm not 100%, but you've got me at like 50%.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. No, I find that to be a very reasonable theory.
Wow. What a compliment.
It is.
Now do Vin and Elend sleep together after this? That's fantastic.
Wow, that took a turn.
So we're talking about all this stuff about the plot of the book. The next is, hey, do we get a sex scene?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
the
wait,
two sides of Sheta, everybody.
Are you saying right after this, or like just at some point?
Nothing gets people going more than like a life-threatening thing happening. That's all I'm saying.
So Vin's gonna go back into the room, jump down there, and be like, "Ellen, you all right? Yeah. All right, let's bone."
No, it's gonna be like, "Oh no, I'm not all right." And then Vin's like, "Your dad did this," and he's like, "Oh no, I don't know what to do." And then "It's okay." And she takes his hand, and they fly away with their powers, and then they go hide at her house.
If that happens after she just said goodbye dramatically, I will stop reading this book immediately. Because that would just be so stupid. They already had a good ending part there for that.
But she says that she loves him when she goes to save his life.
Yeah, and then she says goodbye for now, Ellen. If she's like,
for now.
You know what? Never mind, I need to get some poo-tang. I would not be happy with that.
It's gonna be written good, Justin.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think there's any way to write it
trust-
for what I just said.
Trust in Sanderson.
Yeah, but who ends a chapter saying that and then just says, you know what, actually, I kind of want to see what would happen if she didn't leave. Why would you end it that way? On the rewrite, why wouldn't you just change that?
We just said that he puts breadcrumbs a certain way to just go a different way.
All right, I'm done, and I no longer believe your Lord Ruler theory, Sheta.
That has nothing to do with it.
I see the kind of person you are. I never should have trusted you.
Why can't I be both?
Okay, Justin, or do either of you have any more like theories you want to throw out there?
Oh, I thought I had one. No, I guess I don't for this chapter.
Well,
I have one thing I wanted to say about. I predict that maybe Vin will say that he'll say, "I think I'd like to kiss you now," to Elend before kissing him for the first time.
Oh, Sheeta, I don't like that at all. Oh, God. Sorry, Brandon, if you're listening and that's what happens, but oh my God, no. Then you'd know they were made for each other.
Yeah, well, they're pretty dorky, the two of them, and
Oh, God.
yeah.
that just makes me think of the end of the movie Tiptoes. I haven't seen it, but from the 40-minute description that Daniel Tosh gave on an extended version of Tosh.0, the end of the movie ends with Kate Beckinsale and Gary Oldman, who's playing a little person in the movie, like sitting there. Then she just looks at him and is like, "You can kiss me now."
Oh, God.
Oh, cringy.
Tiptoes was a thing where if you look it up, you can find a trailer for it, and you watch it, and it looks like it's a fake trailer. The quality of it looks terrible. The plot of it looks terrible. It looks like it's just like a college humor or Funny or Die sort of video. But no, it was a legitimate movie that was made. With
Or
Gary
a trailer in Tropic Thunder.
With Gary Oldman in the role of a lifetime.
Oh, God.
Still have not watched the movie. I need.
Yeah. Next
All right.
get together.
All right, now
You
let's
just gotta buy it.
Yeah. All right. Now, all right. So we are very close to finishing the book. We do not have much left of it. So, just like I did for Elantris, I'm going to ask you two: how is this book going to end? What are the last like little chunk of chapters going to?
Well, what do we got? Like 6 chapters left or something? Is it less?
We'll have 2 more podcast episodes. So next week, then the week after.
All right.
Wow. So it's like the final act.
Well, I think we're going to go right into pulling off the heist, basically, because all the things that they were slowly building, it's kind of over. It's ready to move on to the last section. And then things are going to go fucking horribly wrong. And somebody will die. Guarantee that. And
Who?
Oh, I said
Who
before.
will die?
Probably.
Ham, you
That's my
said?
theory. Maybe everyone except Kelsier and Vin. Ham for sure. I'm sorry, Ham. Maybe
No.
Breeze. Maybe Lester Vornays. Probably him too, actually.
No.
Because they're not going to
happens-
liberate the final empire in this last section of book. I don't believe that. So they're going to pull the heist. Things are going to go right, but they're also going to go wrong. And then they're going to find out an element they didn't know all along, that somebody may realize at the last second from context clues in the book. Maybe says it about what you're saying, Sheta. Something like that. Not that, but something similar to that. Yeah, that's what I got. Pretty straightforward stuff you'd expect from the end of a first book in a trilogy.
I'm not that good at analyzing that kind of thing, so.
Well, mine wasn't very detailed, so I wouldn't worry about it. Mine was basically, if you boil it down, I think stuff will happen.
Well, I think something. Let's see. Let me think about it a second.
Sheta, you already basically said with your theory what you think will happen.
Yeah, I guess so. I just didn't know how far we'll get, like how much we'll learn.
Well, what she said was stuff that has technically already happened.
Yeah, but like revelation stuff.
Oh, No, well, for the end of this book, though, I think it would be unexpected, but interesting if they did just do the heist. Nobody dies, and it ends up going well, but with an ominous tone coming in.
Yeah, that's the other thought. Everything goes well. They fuck up the Lord Ruler, and then they learn the deepness is coming. He was holding it back, you know.
Yep.
That's actually been my theory since the start of the book, now that I remember.
Liar, you're just trying to steal my theory.
No, not yours. No, not that. That the only thing holding back the deepness is the Lord Ruler. And the second they take him out, everything will just get 100 times worse.
Mm. Yeah.
So do you think, are they going to kill the Lord Ruler, or will they just like beat him and he'll have to leave Luthadel?
Well, in this version, it'll be they bust in. He whips their asses. Kelsier uses the 11th metal, has some trouble, but figures it out, and they take him out. And then as he falls, he says, "You fools! I was the only one holding it back." And that's how it'll end. And then they all feel a very deep sense of dread inside of them, like a cork letting go. And then you end with like the end of Cabin in the Woods, basically.
Big hand comes out of the ground.
Yeah. All fucked up.
All right. Well, do you guys want anything else?
I'm curious to see how things go. I genuinely am, which is, a good sign in a book.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will move on to the characters and quotes.
I'm taking the first quote because I think Sheta might have picked mine. And I don't have a backup.
Why would you do that?
Well, we're doing characters first anyways.
Characters first? Oh.
We always do characters first.
Well, my character is Sazed. I really enjoyed his talks about religious stuff. I thought it was really interesting that Kelsier goes to him when he's having feelings and worries and stuff. Yeah, I just like Sazed. I liked him. I think I've picked him before too.
Yeah, good. My favorite this time was Chandelario, because she turned out to be a badass bitch. I'm really sad that she died and couldn't become Ben's bestie.
And I will just go with Vin. Just her action sequence at the end was just too great, especially when she does the whole, all right, let ATM go, and then burn at the last second to freeze Chandelario in a trap. And then she grabs an arrow in the fucking air. Still traveling, and grab it. The whole spot where she just rip open the coin pouch and pushes it all around her, killing a bunch of people. That's another awesome, just so many awesome battle scenes in that end section.
Yeah, Vin got a lot of respect out of me when she did that pretend not to have any left move for 1 second to throw her off. That was good.
Yeah, for all I'm saying about how good the noble Mistborn are, Vin's street smarts and her natural skills make her better, which makes her just that much more badass. But she's only been learning for not even a year, which is crazy.
But they've also said she's naturally incredibly gifted.
That's what I mean.
Of course,
that's what I mean.
She is the Lord's daughter, as I said.
All right, then I guess we will go on to quotes.
Oh, I guess I'll take the first quote then, if nobody else wants to go.
Go for it. It's not like I don't have a book on me, and it would be hard.
It's when Kelsier says that the loss of the Valen leaders should have broken the people, not they made them more determined to keep going, and Sazed responds, "Men are more resilient than that, I think. Our belief is often strongest when it should be weakest. That is the nature of hope." I thought that was a really good, simple little, as he says, way to describe the concept of hope and what it's like for people.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's my quote too.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sucks to be
That's
you.
okay.
Now
I've got a backup.
Now you know how I always feel, Sheta.
Well, we just think alike then. We have similar tastes. Well, it's a really good one. All right, mine is always also the other one I picked was also a Sazed quote. It's Vin being very sad about things changing and she doesn't want it to because she really likes how things are now. How things are, yeah. Sazed smiled fondly. "Then, mistress," he said quietly, "simply enjoy what you have. The future will surprise you, I think." "Maybe," said Vin, unconvinced. Ah, you just need to have hope, mistress. Perhaps you've earned a little bit of good fortune. Like, it's just him thinking positively and to telling her to enjoy the moment. I feel like she's not ever had that kind of thing. So, like, good advice from someone who cares about her. Well, I guess her brother, you could argue that. But
In his way.
yeah. It's
You
so
know,
funny in the audiobook. The guy makes her brother's voice sound like such an asshole. Like, they'll all leave you. Everyone does. Everyone will. Like, it's like a little devil on her shoulder.
that's because he was an asshole. He always beat her.
Just
To
to
help make her
teach her how to
tough.
be tough. Yeah.
Well, I actually do defend from his perspective. I really think that he thinks that's what you need to do and what you need to be.
Just that he also, like, told her not to be girly because that's how he'll be safe, you know?
Yeah, he clearly did care about helping her in his way. But that's a way for a very different world than what she's living now.
All right, then we'll go to my quote. Mine will go a different route than yours. Not really
Not a
introspective.
Sazed quote.
Not a Sazed quote, not introspective or philosophical. It's just going to be badass action. ATM's almost gone, Vin thought desperately. Only a few seconds left. So she extinguished her ATM early, exposing herself. Shan smiled wickedly, coming up from her crouch, right-hand dagger swinging confidently. She assumed that Vin had run out of ATM, and therefore assumed that she was exposed, vulnerable. At that moment, Vin burned her last bit of ATM. Shan paused briefly and confusing, giving Vin an opening as a phantom arrow streaked through the mist overhead. Vin caught the real arrow as it followed, the grainy wood burning her fingers, then rammed it down into Shan's chest. The shaft snapped in Vin's hand, leaving about an inch protruding from Shan's body. The woman stumbled backward but stayed on her feet. Damn pewter, Vin thought, ripping a sword from a sheath beside her conscious soul feet. She jumped forward, gritting her teeth in determination, and Shan, still dazed, raised a hand to push her against the sword. Vin let the weapon go as merely a distraction as she slammed the second half of the broken arrow into Shan's chest beside its counterpart. This time Shan dropped. She tried to rise, but one of the shafts must have done some serious damage to their heart. Her face paled, she struggled for a moment, then fell lifeless to the stones. Vin stood,
Gotta make me relive. Oh, sorry.
Vin stood, breathing deeply as she wiped the blood from her cheek, only to realize that her bloody arm was just making her face worse. Behind her, the soldiers called out, knocking more arrows. Vin glanced back towards the keep, bidding farewell to Elend, then pushed herself out into the night.
Oh, that's the farewell.
And
Okay.
then the beginning of the next chapter, Vin decided F it and went back to Elend in order to get some sex. Like I said, just pick that scene because it just badass action scene where. All right. So now we will go on, tell you what chapters we're reading next week. So next week, it'll be 4 chapters, 31, 32, 33, 34. Yep, that's it. 31 through 34 next week.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And one thing I will let people know, in case you haven't picked up the next book, I would recommend picking it up because, as I said earlier, there's only 2 more sections of this that we will record. If you got a Mistborn box set, then you're good. If not, then pick up the book with the Well of Ascension.
Joe, do we have a promo code yet where we get a little slice of the book when they buy it? Have we been picked up by Brandon Sanderson for a promo?
No, we have not.
Well, maybe next time.
That would be cool.
It's like, except then you have to go to this specific website to buy it. Don't buy a used copy. Don't go to your local brick and mortar store. Go to this website and buy this book using this code.
You know what would be cool though? If they made books that I did the cover for and they're special. And if they buy that version.
I think you're getting a bit ahead of yourself here, Sheta. We've only done a book and a half of podcast.
Well,
No.
my book covers will be all like romantic novel covers with my character ships on them.
No, we just use the art I commissioned from Justin as the cover for the book.
Then we're going to get sued by 2 people. Or 2 companies.
No, because if it's the book, then that means we have to pass through the rights so we get all that stuff checked.
You're right. They'll get sued, not us. We'll be all good.
If it has not been posted yet, at some point in the future it will be posted. But the commissioned art is Hatsune Miku in a mist cloak. It's
Yeah.
as
Tell us how
awesome
you
as
feel
think.
Brandon Sanderson would think of that.
Is he a fan of Hatsune Miku? We'll find
We're
out.
about to find out. Yeah.
Oh.
And doubt it, but in all honesty, I think he'd just enjoy his stuff being used for something.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be angry or anything. He'd just be like, oh,
Like-
that's funny.
How dare you disrespect my work?
This is a serious book. What's wrong with you?
No, he does not come off as one of those type of writers.
Yeah, he seems pretty chill.
All right. Let's go on to our plugs and stuff now.
Profanity Beaver on most social media sites to get various arts and things that you, right there, will find very interesting.
And if you want your own, random Japanese character in a mist cloak, contact Justin about getting it commissioned.
Yes, apparently that's my specialty now, so.
Want to see Hello Kitty in a mist cloak? You
Oh,
can commission
just
that.
commission that. You have any idea how easy that would be to draw? Please commission that.
That sounds adorable. Okay, I just might
Well-
do it, and we will post that on our our Instagram. All right, my Instagram is Sheta_low for art and crafts and drawing challenges, and my cosplay Instagram is just Mermaid Machete. And if you want to play Helldivers with me, my gamer tag is Mermaid_Machete.
You're playing too much Helldivers.
Joe, that does not sound patriotic at all.
You need to
No,
stop
that's
playing
very- It's very undemocratic, Joe.
You need to stop playing Helldivers and get back to playing Kingdom Hearts.
Joe, you may not understand this, but the bugs have just attacked many of our colonies, and they need to be dealt with.
So do the Heartless.
The Heartness are not a designated Super Earth enemy at the moment, Joe.
No, because they're destroying all worlds. They're not solely focused on Super Earth.
Joe, that sounds a dangerously large amount like sedition. We may need to report you.
Go ahead. I've got Sora on my side. He's my... we're
I
friends.
don't think...
And my friends are my power.
I don't know, Joe. I think you're getting in over your head here.
Just give me a little time, I'll have a Keyblade.
And what will you have, Sheta, to deploy against a Keyblade?
Machete. Or Mermaid Machete.
God. No, I meant a Helldiver's weapon, Sheta. You ruined it. I
Oh,
quit.
okay. Oh, I'm sorry. A breaker. Incendiary breaker.
There you go.
Or you know what? I'm just gonna call down an eagle.
All right. Well, if you want to contact us directly and complain about whatever nonsense we have talked about in this episode, then send an email to cosmiachronicles@gmail.com. Seriously, send us an email. We want something to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Just please do it.
Oh yeah, it's not like we have enough to read with reading a whole book.
Joe, I'll let you know from experience. Straight up telling people, please, dear God, do this, doesn't work. It never does. I get less comments if I say that.
What you gotta do is something controversial, then you'll get some emails.
Yeah, there you go. Just go, No, I won't say that, actually. I think I'm not going to say that.
All right. And then if you want to talk solely on this video, you can go over to our YouTube. And wherever you listen to this, just go leave us a rating and a review and everything like that. That way we can get more of this stuff pushed out so we can meet our goal of passing Joe Rogan as the #1 podcast in the world.
I kind of forgot that was our goal. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I don't know how that's going to work, man.
Justin, not with that attitude.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we just need to get it so that way each of our episodes get like millions of views each week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, once we hit #1 in the world, that's when we'll get our White Castle sponsorship.
Wait, that's it? Not the book sponsorship?
Well, that will come too, but we've been hawking for White Castle for so long, we need that one too. They'll go hand in hand.
I mean,
Yeah, we
I
have
guess.
priorities here, Justin.
I'm sorry. I guess I didn't know that was what we were doing here.
First White Castle, then
Wait,
the world.
I mean, the #1 reason we started this podcast was not so that way I can get my friends to read the Cosmere and be able to talk about it. No, it was to make money. And by money, I mean millions of dollars.
Then why didn't you pick a more mainstream thing?
It's all about niche now, Justin.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
We
is.
should be talking about, like, politics or something.
No, God, no. All right, and
That's how you make money.
also, you can follow us on Twitter, also known as Key, a most ancient letter, at Cosmere Chron, CosmereChron. And so those are all the plugs. Go and do the stuff I said. Next week, like I said, that's 31 through 34 for chapters. And so until next week, everyone, go out and have fun.
See you later, alligator.
And let us know if you want that Twilight podcast. Bye.
Sheta, no. Justin said, see you later, alligator. You were supposed to respond as a little while, crocodile.
Okay.
Don't
Sorry.
you remember, like, kindergarten?
Yes.
You ruined everything, Sheta.
I'm sorry. I didn't know we planned that.
We've been talking about it for weeks. You know how many people just unsubbed, Sheta?
All right. Yep. Bye.
Okay. Bye for real.